This is the Yokomo YZ10 91 Works Edition. I actually picked this up maybe 2 months ago or so. I just haven't had a chance to make an overview video of it. As you probably know by now, I do have several YZ10s. I'll just kind of show you here. This is my 870. It's a really great runner once you get it set it up right. A bunch of 94 YZ10s. There's one here. It's this one, this one, this one. And 93 works. So I'm working on a few bodies I have to paint for these two, plus the 91 works. I have a few other things I'm going to do to this, and this is my runner, and this is just another one that I got recently because it looks really nice. But in any case, the 91 works was the first, actually no, I think it was the second sort of evolved version of the 870C chassis. There was, I believe, an 89 If More Worlds sort of replica for the 870, but this should be the first YZ10 that has the long front and rear arms. These arms right here, they're the same you'll see on the 92 works and the 93 works. All of the Works Edition models have aluminum front and rear bulkheads rather than magnesium bulkheads, okay, front and rear. But the motor mount is still magnesium, same motor mount you'll see on all of the YZ10s. What else is unique about the 91? It obviously has different shock towers, front and rear, compared to the 870. The shocks themselves are also different. The original 870C shocks were this kind of silver body, smaller bore shock. One of the 870s that I bought as a parts car had a few of those, and I took it apart and took a look at it. Those shocks were really garbage, to be honest. These shocks are much better. They're a bit more like conventional associated shocks. And later on, like in the 94 YZ10, you may find several of those with associated shocks on them. The only difference between them is that the springs on the Yokomo springs are a slightly bigger bore than the associated springs. So the spring cup at the bottom is not quite the same diameter as an associated spring cup. So you get a little bit less friction, a little less rubbing between the spring and the shock body. I did notice that the previous owner did seem to cut away the bottom of the ball cup here for both of the rear springs. So I have to find replacement units there because this spring cup doesn't have anything to clip onto. Otherwise, it's in okay condition. Screws are a little rusty, just need some cleaning. The 91 works was, I believe, the only one, with the exception of the 93 World Championship Edition, to come with 2mm fine pitch belts, both front and rear. These are supposed to be smoother than the standard 3mm belts. But the problem here is that you have to get the belt tension just right. Because the belts are the teeth are relatively small, it's easier to strip these belts out. So you have to spend a fair amount of time to make sure the belt tension is just right. This car did come with a bumper, even though it's not attached to your instruction manual. Did also come with spare front and rear diffs, a couple other parts. I have my work cut out for me here. These little battery braces are from a Schumacher Cat. I have a spare set of YZ10 battery posts that I'll mount, but I don't have the top brace pieces. I'll have to fabricate those myself. For the steering rack, I did manage to find an RCPS front steering brace here. So it's an aluminum piece, I think, aluminum or steel, and it just goes over the top, and it stabilizes the steering rack, because otherwise these are just rotating on a post that's only stabilized, anchored at the bottom, and there's nothing anchoring it at the top. So these can wobble around under heavy loads. When I got that rack, I also got this guy. It's a quote-unquote differential kit, but I have no idea what it is. It's just these two kind of hollow tubes, and then this disc here, which I think has a tape on the other side. Not entirely sure what that's for, and I haven't been able to find out what it's for by Google searching. It's part number 090 from RCPS. If any of you guys have a clue or happen to know what it does, just drop a comment in the comments section. I'm very curious about that. But in any case, this adds to the collection. The 92 works is a slight evolution of the 91, where they went back to the 3mm belts on the 92 works, and I believe the front and rear shock towers were also a different geometry, but otherwise it would be exactly the same chassis. The lower deck, I'm pretty sure, is the same lower deck on the 92 works. So yeah, I just wanted to show that off. In time, of course, I'll, take this apart, clean it up, make it all nice and pretty. But yet another YZ10 for your viewing pleasure. The front steering knuckle and C-hub carriers, I look to be pretty consistent between the 91, 92, all the way up to the 94 YZ10. The rear hub carriers, kind of hard to see, but the rear hub carriers here are a nylon piece, but the shape is unique to the 91 works. On the 92, they used a different piece, which I think is the same that you'll see on the 93 and the 94 YZ10. So that's it for now. And again, I'll make another video when this is all cleaned up and everything. So thanks for watching.